Hey amateur detectives, welcome to the River Heights Report. I'm Rachel, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 Nancy Drew games in the Her Interactive series. I got my magnifying glass, so let's get into it. These rankings are of course based on my biased opinion, so feel free to disagree with me in the comments below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion on this. So the number 5 spot goes to Warnings at Waverly Academy. In this game, Nancy goes undercover to an upstate New York boarding school, and she's surrounded by a bunch of privileged, tech-savvy girls. She's surrounded by drama from the get-go. One girl stole someone's boyfriend, someone seemingly plagiarized on their essay. There's even a secret society in this game, so there's a lot of intrigue. There's so many places to explore in this game. There's secret rooms, you get to climb up into a tree, you're confronting suspects and all the things that are going on around the school. I just think it's an all-around fun game. This is my comfort game. This is the game that I go to. I love that the seasons change within the game. It makes it so cozy. Also with the characters, I think they're really well developed. They all have their own motivations and personalities and styles. All around, I think it's a really well developed game. It has a good plot, good characters, but I didn't rank it as high because I think you spend maybe more time talking to characters than you do really getting to explore, and a lot of the puzzles are doing other kids' homework. The number 4 spot goes to Treasure in the Royal Tower. Nancy has plans to go on a ski vacation and stay at Wickford Castle in Wisconsin. In the beginning of the game, we realize that we are snowed in and soon find out that the library has been vandalized. So of course, as Nancy, we ditch our plans of having a relaxing vacation and have to discover what happened. The setting in this game is so beautiful. You're staying in this gorgeous castle. You get to explore secret passageways, find an abandoned garden. It's like the secret garden. You get to find the secret garden. It's so fun. I love the idea of being snowed in with a bunch of suspects. Nobody can leave, and you're just trying to figure out what's going on. We get to meet one of our most favorite and beloved characters, Professor Hotchkiss, in this game. She is so much fun to talk to, and we get to help her with some of her research. So you're getting to learn some fun facts along the way. You get to learn a lot about the characters' backstories, which I think is really neat. It adds so much more to their development than them just being there and not really playing an active role in the case. Dexter Egan is the caretaker, and so you get to help him with things around the castle, like fixing the elevator, fixing the lights in the stairwell, bringing Professor Hotchkiss her boots. So it's fun to do little tasks here and there, and it's not overwhelming like it is in games such as White Wolf of Icicle Creek. The library is gorgeous. If I was able to build my own house and have a library, it would look exactly like that. Spiral staircase and all. It's a beautiful game, and it's one of the first ones I played growing up, so I'm definitely a nostalgia girl. The number 3 spot goes to Danger on Deception Island. This is one I think is a little controversial because I did not realize how many people don't really like this game. And it honestly shocked me. Water aspect, which I'm personally partial to. I love whales, I love the water, I love kayaking, so this game was a hit for me. Nancy is taking a vacation to one of the San Juan Islands off of Washington State to stay with Katie Firestone on her boat. When she shows up, she realizes that the boat has been completely vandalized. Books have been torn out. Her GPS is broken. The pipes are dismantled. There's all these different things that Nancy has to go in and she's gonna help fix. And she's determined to figure out who did this and why. This game is so much fun to me because you literally get to kayak around the bay, you get to explore caves, secret passageways, you come across the orca, you get to go up into the lighthouse and use Morse code, which is so much fun. You get to go to the Hot Kettle Cafe and get free clam chowder.
Think I could try a bowl of your clam chowder?
Coming right up. Next one will be on the house too.
You get to go to Whale World, which is a museum. You get to learn about different whales and play different games. I just think it's so much fun, all the different areas that you get to explore. And then at the end of the game, you get to kayak out to a ship and try to evade smugglers. You're trying to figure out what is going on. It's so interesting. You get to phone a research specialist. You get to look at driftwood in a microscope. All of the puzzles that you do are applicable to the setting. They don't feel random. Yeah, I think this is a great game, and that's why it's ranked in my top 5. Number 2 is The Curse of Blackmore Manor. So Nancy's neighbor has asked her to go to Blackmore Manor in England to discover why her daughter has been acting so strange lately. Her daughter's name is Linda Pemberlin, and she hides behind her curtain the entire game. She recently married Hugh Pemberlin, a British diplomat who is in line to inherit the manor. The whole game just has an eerie feel to it, and it's so much fun. You're pretty much on your own for a lot of the game, except for when you need to play games with Jane in her room, which again is another fun element, except when you're playing Bull. That game stressed me out so much. There's a lot of references to the older games, which is really neat. Like Bull is featured in Secret of the Scarlet Hand, and Jane has a poster of Brady Armstrong on her wall, who of course is from the final scene. You get to learn a lot about the history of the family. There's weird things going on throughout the house. There's cutscenes that you may or may not get to watch in the game, depending on how quickly you run through. I think there are a lot of great intricate puzzles, but they're not too hard to solve. You get to find an alchemy lab. There's 2 entrances to secret passageways. There's a conservatory, a library. It's a literal clue board. So the ending of this game was a little lackluster, but all in all, I think this is a really strong game. You can get very invested in your environment and the mystery solving process and all the different puzzles and clues that you pick up along the way. I think it's a lot of fun. All right, we've come to the number 1 spot, but before I say what it is, I want to make some honorable mentions. My first honorable mention is Captive Curse. Nancy goes to Germany and stays in an old castle, which is so neat. There's a monster on the loose. You get to explore more passageways. The characters are fun to talk to, and you get to play a lot of games and solve some unique puzzles. Another one is Shadow at the Water's Edge. You get to travel abroad and stay at an old Japanese inn called a ryokan and learn about Japanese culture, play a bunch of different puzzles, and you even get to travel around on the map and go to different locations. Legend of the Crystal Skull is another one of my favorites. Nancy's traveling to New Orleans with Bess Marvin, and Ned asked if she could check in on an acquaintance of his, Henry Boulay, because his uncle recently passed away. And when Nancy walks in, she gets knocked out by a guy in a skeleton costume. Another honorable mention is Sea of Darkness. This is a beautiful game. It's a gorgeous setting. It's got lovely music. You get to travel to Iceland because she figures out something strange is going on there with a ship. And it turned out that one of the people who's helping with the ship has gone missing. And so we spend a lot of the game trying to figure out what happened. My last honorable mention is Secret of Shadow Ranch. This one is a classic. It's based on one of the first original Nancy Drew books, and it's one of the first games that I've owned. You get to travel to a lot of different locations on Bob the Horse, and you get to do some chores, which can be stressful at times.
Pick those vegetables for me yet?
Take a look.
Oh no!
I think one of the main reasons I didn't have this game ranked higher is because of the Roadrunner game. I can't tell you how many times I've had to play that game trying to get the coins so I can go and find the meanest people in the West, and I've failed so many times. I was getting stressed in that game. It took me forever. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for, the number 1 game in the Nancy Drew series. Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. Nancy is invited to go on a train with the Hardy Boys and a bunch of other characters to discover what happened to Jake Hurley, who was the original owner of the train. He suddenly went missing out of the blue. Nobody knows what happened to him, but you and Nancy are gonna find out. There's so many strange happenings. You see glowing lights outside the windows. Someone throws the emergency brake. Your hostess goes missing in the beginning of the game. Every character has their own unique occupation and reason for being on the train. You get to work alongside the Hardy Boys. You're traveling between 2 different states. You get to explore a creepy old crypt and caves, and you get to make burgers.
Cheeseburger.
This game has everything. I will say, any mystery that takes place on a train, in a castle, a mansion, or a boarding school, automatically gonna be top tier. I mean, look at Poirot, some of the best mysteries. Murder on the Orient Express, Cat Among the Pigeons, that takes place in a boarding school. Like, those are some of the best mysteries. Settings are so important in a game. It can make or break it, in my opinion. There you have it. That's my ranking for the top 5 Nancy Drew games in the Her Interactive series. Let me know what your favorite games are. Which ones would you put in the top 5? I would love to hear all about it and your reasons in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. Fade out.